Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is being on their best behavior for the sub today. On your desk, you should have your foldable that you got on Monday, your homework from last night. Put your pencil underneath your desk so we can check homework. Have your checking pen ready, and your workbook you need to pick up from the back of the room. You should have your name on the workbook on the edges of the pages. You'll need that for your assignment today. If you were absent yesterday, I've put your workbook with your name on it at the back as well. Go ahead and check your homework. Here's problems 1 and 2. For number 1, if you do not have a title or labels on your axes, you need to take off points. Take off 1 point for each label. Now, the first problem should have been a histogram, so your bars should be touching. Notice there wasn't any information from 3 to 3 9/10, so that should be a blank space right there, but otherwise you should have bars touching. If your bars aren't touching, it's wrong. Okay, and then number 2 should have been a bar graph, so your bars should not be touching. And again, your labels are all worth 1 point, including your intervals on your axes. If you need to pause this to check, you can pause the video at any time. Okay, number 3, here's 3 through 6. Labels are -1 as always. Number 5, you should have close to 43. And number 6, if you didn't put million, that's minus a point. If you need to pause, you can pause this video for everyone to catch up. You don't have to have on number 7 about $50 difference, you just need to have refrigerator. Number 8, you should have something similar to my description. Please be mindful and be a good judge of your answer on number 8. The sub will not be entertaining questions about number 8. You should know if your answer is right or not. If you need to whisper with a neighbor about your answer on number 8, take 5 seconds to do that. You may pause the video for 5 seconds. Number 9, you should have a histogram, so your bars should be touching. If your bars are not touching, it's wrong. Again, your labels and your axis labels are all worth a point. Notice a histogram has intervals on the x-axis. I made a stem and leaf plot first with my information before I made my histogram. That would have been helpful so that you could see the frequency. It's not actually a stem and leaf plot, but it's something similar to that. All right, number 10, wind speed range. You should have 50 to 59 miles per hour, -1 for label. And number 11, how many cities recorded their highest wind speeds at 60 miles per hour or more? That's 10 cities. -1 for a label. Take 1 minute to calculate your grade. You can use your cell phone calculator or a basic 4-function calculator. Please do not use the TI Inspires. If you don't have a calculator, please look on with a neighbor to calculate your grade. You can pause this video to calculate your grade, and then you need to pass your papers to the front of your row so that the sub can put them in the appropriate tray on the table. Okay, open your foldable to the Venn diagram section. Venn diagrams show, you need to copy this down. Venn diagram is used for showing how 2 or more sets of data are related through an arrangement of overlapping circles. Okay, you can abbreviate that definition. You do not have to write every single word down. Most of you already know what a Venn diagram is, and here's an example of what one looks like. Remember that the overlapping portion is what the 2 categories have in common, and where the circles are not overlapping, that's what they have as differences. Okay, we're going to draw some Venn diagrams together. So this is the first example in your foldable. It says the 7th grade class will be going on a field trip to the Science Museum. The students were asked about their lunch preferences. Use the clues to complete the Venn diagram. Include a title for the diagram and label for each circle. Okay, so our title for our Venn diagram is going to be Field Trip Lunch Choices. Fill that in on yours. Okay. Um, and our two categories are hamburger and pizza. Oh, actually, I should show you the clues first, shouldn't I? Here are the clues that we're going to use to make our Venn diagram. So they can choose from hamburger or pizza, and then where they overlap is both. So it says the first clue, there are 162 students in the 7th grade class. We're going to save that clue till the end. Then the next clue says 115 students said they would eat a hamburger. That means that 115 students total are going to eat a hamburger, so we're going to save that clue for a second. Next clue says 100 students said they would eat pizza. That means 100 total students would eat pizza. Not only pizza, but they would eat pizza. So we're going to save that clue. Look at that last clue. 73 students said that they would eat a hamburger and pizza. Always start with the overlapping portion first. So since 73 students said that they would eat a hamburger and pizza, you put 73 in the overlapping section of your Venn diagram. Now, that means that going back to the second clue, 115 students said that they would eat a hamburger. That means that 73 plus that like hamburger and pizza plus what number out here that only like hamburger have to equal 115. So to get that answer, you need to subtract 115 minus 73, and that'll give you 42. So 42 only want hamburger. Okay, again, think of it as a whole circle here. This whole circle has to equal 115 because it says that 115 students said that they would eat a hamburger. Okay, if you need to pause this video to catch up, you know that you can still pause this video. I'm moving on to pizza. I'm going back to this clue right here, the third clue that says 100 students said that they would eat pizza. That means inside the pizza circle, right here, inside this pizza circle, you have to have 100 total students. So we know 73 so far would eat pizza. So 100 minus 73 is 27, which means that 27 students would only eat pizza. You have to look for those key words such as only. Now let's go back to that first clue. Let me erase this a little bit. The first clue gave us some good information. It said that there are 162 students in the 7th grade class total. Well, let's look at what we've got so far in our Venn diagram. We have 42 plus 73. That so far is 115. Plus 27, that's 142 so far. So we're missing 20 students. So think in your head, 162 minus 142 is 20 students. Where would those 20 students go? Some people in this class may not like hamburger or pizza at all. So to show students who wouldn't fall into those two categories, you would write those 20 students outside the Venn diagram. We call that writing it in the universe, okay? They're not in the Venn diagram. They don't like hamburger or pizza, but they're still 7th graders, so we have to include them in our Venn diagram. So you would write them right here on the outside of your Venn diagram. If you need to pause to catch up, you may do so. Let's look at the next example in your foldable. It says Coach Farias at Marvin Middle School collected the following data about the exercise program at his track team that his track team used during the summer. So your options are run, swim, or bike. Notice we have 3 categories here. So that means we need a Venn diagram that shows 3 circles. So you draw your Venn diagram like this. Notice how all 3 are overlapping. Label each circle, running, swimming, and biking. And then we're going to write the names in the appropriate section of our Venn diagram. So I always like to start with the overlap. I'm noticing right now Alex stands out in my mind because he chose all 3 options. So write Alex where all 3 circles overlap. He was the only one that chose all 3 options. Okay, now it looks like Joel, Mike, Mike, and Pedro only run. So they are going to go out here where running doesn't overlap it with anything. Joel, Mike, and Pedro. Next is Philippe, who only swims. So Philippe goes over here where swimming does not overlap with any other circle. Tyson runs and bikes. So where running and biking overlap, that's right here. You're going to put Tyson's name there. So it shouldn't overlap with the swimming circle. Justin swims and bikes. So where swimming and biking overlap, we're going to put Justin's name right here. Trevor only likes to bike, so his name goes where biking doesn't overlap with anything, which is right here. Yusuf runs and bikes, so running and biking will be just like with Tyson. We already got Alex, and then Pete only swims. So Pete goes over here with Philippe, who only swims. Okay, so that's what your Venn diagram should look like. If you need to pause to catch up, you may do so at this time. All right, we're going to look at some completed Venn diagrams. This is not in your foldable. So you need to just listen and look at the questions, and then the sub will pause the video so that you can all vote on the correct answer and discuss it. All right, so read over this question. It says Circletown High School has 200 students, of which 162 are enrolled in a science class. Does it say only, or does it say just science class? Keep that in mind. 84 are enrolled in art class, and 56 are enrolled in both a science and an art class. So that's pretty obvious where that should go. Which of the following Venn diagrams correctly depicts this information? So at this time, the sub will pause the video so you can look at all the answer choices. And then when you're ready, you can unpause it to reveal the answer. So the correct answer is C, because there are 56 that like both, so that goes in the middle. Then it told us 162 are enrolled in science, which means science circle has to equal 162. So 162 minus 56 equals 106. That's where we're getting this 106 right here. Then it told us in the problem that 84 are enrolled in art class. That means inside the art circle, you have to have 84 students. So 84 minus 56 equals 28. That's where this 28 came from. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this 200 outside? Well, at the very beginning, it says the high school has 200 students, of which 162, actually, I don't think this is the right answer. Actually, it should be, if we add them all together, sorry about that, 106 plus 56 plus 28, that's 12, carry the 1, 6, 8, and 180. That means we have 20, no, I didn't do that right. I should carry a 2. Miss White's going to get it right here. 190, sorry, 190 students are inside our Venn diagram, which means we are missing 10 students, since it told us in the beginning I have 200 total students. So that means C is not right. D is the correct answer. Okay, D is the correct answer, because we have this 10 that are outside the Venn diagram because they do not take either one of those classes, science or art. Okay, look at this next problem. Notice we have 3 categories here. This last one is speech, debate, and drama. Okay, so kind of look at the Venn diagram and then look at these 2 questions. Pause the video so you can look at it and then discuss, and then press play to reveal the answers. So the first question says, how many high school students had only orchestra, chorus, band as their activity? So only is where that circle doesn't overlap with anything, which would be right here, 376. And how many students play sports? So that means how many total students play sports. So you have to look inside the sports circle right here and add up all those numbers. When you add them all together, you would get 612. Okay, your homework tonight is out of your workbook, pages 293 to 296. You have to complete all the problems on those pages. Do not tear the pages out of your workbook. Do not. Leave them in your workbook, and you have to bring your workbook to class tomorrow so we can grade it. I will be back tomorrow for us to grade those pages. At this time, if there's class time left over, you may spend the rest of class time working on your homework. Have a good day.